Flopping your gums with Vinny and Hessey. Yeah!
What's up? What's up, yo? We're back, flopping your gums, with Vinny and Hessey, and I, Hessey. This is
Vinny. That's me. I'm Vinny.
Vinny.
You got to tell me when I'm supposed to announce myself.
So, well, I thought you'd be watching. You're sitting there farting around on your phone. You should have been
Getting my
doing that
notes
prior to.
Gotta get my notes.
Hey, let's real quick. Let's bring up. So you talked about gambling. So let's just get right into it, dude. So, did you ever read that article that you had actually sent me?
I didn't read the article of the towns and
so
stuff.
When you were saying that you with the states, there was a bunch more states that had gambling,
correct,
casinos and stuff like that. You know that most of those, like I was saying earlier, they're tribal.
Yeah, I did see that. It did show. Yeah, it was showing.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I did see on that. It would say like 6 out of the 7 in the state are on tribal land and stuff like that. Yeah, I did see a lot of that. That's all.
Dude, there's 523 tribal casinos in 2022.
In all 50 states? I mean, in the United States?
A great, yeah.
Nice.
It generated, dude, listen to this. So this will give you an idea.
I saw that.
For people that want to go and do some gambling, you don't do it on the tribal lands. They generated around $32 billion they accounted for. That's 43% of the U.S. casino gaming revenue.
Right.
Just the tribes, dude. Talk about tight machines, bro. Just taking your money.
Yeah. What state was it? There was a state in there that was talking about how much they actually tax.
Oh, that was Connecticut?
That's what I was going to say, was Connecticut. Like, they only have like a couple of different, they only have like, 2, 3 casinos in the whole state. I mean, it's a small state anyway, but it was like, yeah, you get.
No, sorry. It's, I think it's Missouri, isn't it?
Dude, I don't remember. Sorry, I saw all the stuff while I was looking it up. You know, I was taking a break at work and stuff, and I'm like, oh, and I just sent you all this stuff and then get going on.
I thought they said it was like Missouri does like the.
It's like 78% taxing on the stuff.
Oh no, it's Pennsylvania.
It's huge.
Most tax revenue. But that's the tax revenue. But they were saying, I think it's like Missouri or something. But dude, the WinStar World Casino in Oklahoma is the biggest. Is the world's found specifically the biggest casinos, and that's the WinStar World Casino in Oklahoma.
Yeah, how many square feet?
600,000.
Yeah, right.
But some of those are like we were talking about. They're sports books ones too. Or sorry, betting. Like Arkansas, it only has one casino, which is owned by the tribe, a tribe, whatever it is, the Indian tribe.
Right.
The other two are, one was Greyhound, which I think it said that it stopped in 2022, and the other one is horse racing.
Yeah, there's a lot of horse racing.
So, and so when they say the gambling, not all of them are sports gambling. I mean, of course, Nevada has 345 casinos.
Now, all these internet online stuff, when they started the internet online stuff, I did read that. That all started in like New York, Pennsylvania. Like, it started back east. That's where all the online stuff really started. And before it came out west. And because they didn't have it. So they were able to get it through online betting, and they were able to do sports books online that way.
Yeah.
Which
Nevada, of course, leads with the most casinos.
With the most
and then
casinos.
you have Montana, which are a lot of tribal ones. And then what was the other one I was looking at? Oh, Oklahoma is right up there, and then Louisiana. They're all over 100.
Yeah.
Of course, Nevada's 345, and then there's Montana's 171, Oklahoma's 109, Louisiana's 136.
I wonder how gambling
the rest
is
of
different.
them aren't even close.
How is gambling different in the United States compared to, I mean, like you watch James Bond, you know, and he goes over and he's at like Monte Carlo or something like that. Like I can't remember all the names of the places, but you know, they always show these fancy, it's in the movies, I get it, but you're dressed up nice, tuxedos, dresses, you know, and they're going, do you notice in the movies they show a lot more tables? There's a lot more tables on their thing than
well, maybe over in those countries they're not using slot machines. They're probably just gambling the old school way, cards and Texas Hold'em and different card games. Pow, what's that one that you play?
Compound Chicken?
Me. No, that's cheap. No, there's Pow. Gosh, dang it! Now I can't remember what it's called. You can get messed up though, because like on $20, you keep pushing with the dealer, and you just play. It's a card game, but it's called Pow something. And but it's like you're always pushing, so you're sitting there, and the cocktail waitresses are just rolling by, and you're just sitting there getting free drinks on like $20. Yeah.
But like I love 21. Like 21's a good one. I like roulette. Roulette's fun. I mean, depending on where you go, I know there's a lot of they've kind of got away with a lot of the $2 tables, you know, for blackjack and stuff like that. But you know, down in Mesquite, they have $1, but you have to do a minimum of 10 in the field and that kind of thing. But I'll do craps, roulette, and 21. Like I've never done poker. I've never done any of those.
Yeah.
That they've
seen. Well, like Georgia does the riverboat gambling.
Yeah.
They take you out on a ship 3 miles out in international water. And then it said, I think it was on that one they were talking about, there used to be you had a $5 limit. They wouldn't let it go over. You couldn't bet bigger.
Oh.
Well, yeah, a lot of states started that way. They wouldn't let you. There was only like a minimum maximum bet. Like you could never go over like a certain amount, which is interesting. And the other one was like California has 0. It's all tribal.
Correct.
There's 109 tribes and there's
That's
79
crazy.
Indian casinos.
Right. So like for me, if I went out on a riverboat, I'd be out there for 20 minutes and then just be sitting there watching everybody else gamble. Cause I mean, I don't gamble thousands of dollars, you know, it might be the most I think I've ever, you know, been willing to take and gamble and lose is like $200. You know, I think that was a big, you know, heart racing moment for me. But like, I got $200 to gamble. And then, you know, in Mesquite, you can gamble, like I said, you know, little $5 tables, stuff like that. So $200 lasts quite, you know, it's a good entertainment for a few hours or whatever. But if I went out on a riverboat with $200, I don't even know if they'd let me on the boat.
Dude, yeah, it's probably a little higher roller on that.
If I have a minimum
doing that one, yeah, like you got to show them your bank statement.
You got to go cash in hand. Like you got to
have your bank statement and be like, "This is how much I have in my account." They're like, "Is that a negative?
Sir, get back
is
in
that
your Uber.
Negative?
Get back in your Uber."
Yeah,
go
you
home.
show up in a Prius, and they're like, "Turn around." Go back.
Oh, come on. No, but I mean, like, the riverboat stuff, wasn't that like the movie Maverick? Wasn't that with Mel Gibson and the guy that played?
Yeah, but that's different. That wasn't the same because they're just in the river. So it's not like international waters.
It's not international waters.
Correct, yeah.
Okay,
I think that was just like how, I don't know this for a fact, but I think that's just how they illegally did it. They got out on a boat.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? And
so they can't like
cruise the boat. Yeah, like you're not like in a basement somewhere gambling because it was all for like who know. We'd have to look that up and see. I mean, I don't know. I'm not really that into it, but you would have to look and see because it would be like when it all started, it was all illegal anyways, just like bootlegging. You know what I mean? Like alcohol and stuff was illegal,
right?
And then it like certain states would legalized it. So then they would make it and then bootleg it, you know? So you had the moonshiners that were doing it illegally, but then they were running it to other states, you know, or doing it legal and running it to across the borders to illegal states.
Right. Like you said that they had to do with Coors back in the day. Was it you that said that?
No.
Yeah. Coors was illegal. That's why like Smokey and the Bandit, they were trying to get Coors to another state. That was a real
beer,
thing.
like banquet beer.
Coors. Yeah. Coors beer.
So that was, but see, they were doing, but it was the bootlegging was. I think there's like a movie like called Lawless or something. There's a movie Lawless, I believe.
There's a TV show. It's called Dukes of Hazzard.
Well, Lawless is back when they like these. It was back with like the old Model Ts and Model As.
Right.
Like when they were moonshining.
Right.
And then they were running across, state, county, even counties. They were even
counties.
It was happening county lines too. It wasn't even state to state.
One of the things I heard years ago, and don't quote me on this, it's not facts checked or anything like that, but
we don't fact check on this. Just get it right.
Just get it right.
I got no, get it right. We don't do fact check. I got after my the one that my informant from last week too. I was like, we gotta have a finished product here. She was laughing.
We need more detail.
She gave me a monster too, so she bribed me.
Oh, that's okay.
A monster.
That's good. So, but did you know, like muscle cars? You know how muscle cars have the rear end; they sit up high.
Mm-hmm.
So the model from the muscle cars came from moonshiners, like guys that were running moonshine. So when they built their cars, they put extra shocks and extra suspension in the rear end because when they put all that weight in there, they wanted it to run level. So then, like those cars were like the fastest cars. They were, teenagers would run, stuff at night and all that kind of stuff, and then driving around during the day, as being like cool and everything. So the rear end always set up higher. So back in the 70s, 80s, when they started, kind of. You'd get those old 80s muscle cars and stuff, and the back tires were always bigger and everything was always higher.
Yeah.
It was modeled after. I'm not saying they were ever moonshine cars, but it was kind of the style that was thought to be cool, I guess. So, I heard that years ago.
But yeah, you have to watch Lawless, dude. It's pretty cool. I don't know. I imagine they probably built. There was I think it's been a while since I've seen it. They do have the dude like does something to the motor of one of them. Try to make it faster.
Of course.
Because basically they're just to outrun the cops.
Outrun the law. That's it.
Because then once they get out of the state line or the county or whatever, then they're out of their jurisdiction or whatever it is. But
just even a few years ago, they had a show on Netflix or something like that. It was like called Moonshine Runners or something like that.
Yeah,
Moonshiners.
Yeah, the Moonshiners. Yeah, that was because they were just doing it back in there was some hillbillies back in the woods doing it. But this one has like Shia LaBeouf or whatever his name is. Tom Hardy, I think, is in it. Shia LaBeouf, yeah. Tom Hardy's in it. Some redhead chicks in there. I don't remember. You have to check it out. That's pretty cool.
And it's called Lawless?
I think it's called Lawless, I believe.
Lawless?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. All right.
I'll look that up.
So I put down, I wanted to talk to you about panty types. Underwear / panty. Guys or girls, like both. So it was just something, I don't remember what I was watching, or maybe what I was wearing, this type of underwear I was wearing or something, and it made me think of, like, because there's a ton of different underwear for dudes. I guess girls call them underwear too, depending on the size. Is that what that is?
No,
I just classify it as underwear.
I think it just depends on how they were brought up and what it's called in your area. Just like I call it a freaking, what do I call it? A nice chest. And everybody else calls it a cooler.
I think and people can chime in.
I have no idea. I don't buy women's panties. So
yeah, but
I
it's
don't
still
know.
The same. So I think for me personally, I think there's underwear, basically kind of like what they wear at night, I would assume, is what I would call underwear. Like there's more coverage. They're bigger. Like they're like cover the butt and all that stuff. And then you have panties, which are more of your like booty shorts or, thongs, G-strings, what do they call them? Is it G-string bathing suit or thong?
I think they call them thongs. I don't know.
So then you have those types of panties. I would call those would be panties.
So you call frilly or fancy or sexy, you call those panties. But if they're just wearing regular granny, well,
no, I'm not going to say
panties.
I'm not going to say that. No. Well, there's those too, but
that's the same thing as cotton underwear.
Well, I would say.
I have no idea what we're talking about. Women's panties. This is
Well, the same with guys. Like, what kind of? Oh, I'm just talking. There's types. Why not?
I know.
What do you want to talk about? You
No,
wear
we're
them?
good.
You don't wear underwear?
I
We don't
no.
have to talk about if you don't wear
No.
underwear. 'Cause
I
I'm
wear
pretty
underwear.
sure you
I wear
do.
boxer
Yeah.
briefs.
When you
Boxer
got
briefs.
70s bush, you got to wear underwear, else that's going up in your zipper, bro. You have it tied up in your
Yeah.
zipper.
Yeah. Boxer
Because it's
briefs.
just a thought, like boxer briefs. So there's dudes that wear tidy whities or whitey tidies.
I used to be a tidy whitey
Yeah,
guy for
dude.
years.
And you probably wore white ones forever, and then finally like split into getting some colored ones.
Nope.
So
White
people wouldn't
all
see
the time.
You
Always white.
could not be wearing white all the time.
All the time. It was white.
With that seepage, you always be staining, dude. You're probably staining them. Oh, it's terrible.
They make bleach
You
for
never
a
wore
reason.
colored. Oh. You never wore colored ones.
Not tidy whities, no.
So, what? Okay, so that's perfect. Runs right into it. What made you change? Like, why'd you pick different?
Probably you just picking on me and telling me I should stop wearing tidy whities.
Dude, it probably because there was poop streaks in there. No, it was not from me. There was no way I was picking on you when you were wearing.
I had a phase when I was
Tidy
younger,
whities.
like 13 or whatever. I did do boxers. No, I wore
Remember
tidy
boxers
whities.
was a thing.
I wore
used to wear
tidy
boxers.
whities just because I don't know. I felt more supported. I didn't like things just. I played tennis. I did football that one year and as a freshman, that kind of thing. I mean, I'm not saying I was like 100% athletic as much as the other next guy, but I didn't like the movement. So I just wanted everything kind of held in place. So I just wore tidy whities. That's what mom bought when we were kids, and that's what I wore. And then when I started buying my own underwear, that's just what I bought.
I remember there was a boxer phase for a long time. I wore boxers for the most part, and then
You did.
Yeah, as I got older, then I went to boxer briefs.
So yeah, I did the tidy whities. I did the boxers. I went back to tidy whities, and then boxer briefs are basically the same thing as a tidy whitey. It really is. It just has legs.
That's the thing I like about those. I wouldn't want to wear the tidy whities because that elastic
runs right up in your groin.
Nuts.
Yeah.
So I think that's where, like, I wouldn't do.
And maybe as a kid, it's not that big a deal. You don't have a lot going on down there, so it's more confined.
There's no rubbing. There's no nothing. You know what I mean?
You get those boxer briefs just to kind of hold everything in. It's covers a little more area.
But like girls and theirs, like I don't see how that's comfortable at all.
It
looks good.
I had a thong once.
Oh gosh, dude! Oh my, dude. That's something that people can't unsee. I'm sorry for our listeners. Dude, it looked like a barbed wire fence in the back right there.
It's gone. You can't see it. It's gone. It's gone.
Well, how was it?
I hated it.
I mean, did you just put it on for like role play, or did you wear it like for a day?
No, I never wore it out of the bedroom. Never, ever. Never ever.
So it was just straight up like for like role.
It was for fun.
Like,
it was
hey,
like, let's try this out. Yeah, okay.
So it was a thong, not a like. Because I got some like.
Oh, dude, it was zebra. It was a zebra thong.
Yeah. So like, I got these little chony ones that are like that. That you wear for like just for fun, like that kind of like role play type stuff. But if they're not a thong, they don't go near my butthole.
That's as close as. That's as close as we get to lingerie. That's it.
Oh, yeah,
that's all we have.
Sure.
We have one piece.
Or a sock. Put a sock over and come walking out. Woo!
Wow. Just wow.
Slide a tube sock on there. And that's lingerie. All right, but that escalated quickly. But dude, for real, I don't like the girl ones. I mean, I like them. They're hot. Like, good job. But it seems like that's just not very comfortable. But maybe because their jeans are different, like the way their jeans usually, female jeans, their jeans are tighter and stuff like that. So there's not, I guess, maybe as much riding. Because even some of my work pants, like when I wear my boxer briefs, they worked up in the legs and get crowded up where I got to like undo my pants and like pull them back down. But
My
that
legs
was the
are,
cotton.
My
That was
legs
when I
will
was
run.
cotton. Yeah,
See,
that was when I was doing cotton.
I still do cotton
So
boxer
now I
briefs.
went to Jockey makes they're like polyester
Yeah, I know.
more so. But these new ones I just got, you should try it. They're called it's either Bamboo Cool or Cool Bamboo.
Yeah,
And
I've
they're
heard of
actually
the
made
bamboo
with
stuff.
yeah, they're made with dude. They don't even feel like you got anything on.
That's great.
But you're also talking about support because like when I was in sports, we wore compression shorts.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you'd put the compression shorts on, or like even my gym shorts I have now, like my 10,000s that I work out with,
Don't they have built in?
built in. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's pretty nice that one. But yeah.
So,
All right. Well,
yeah.
I was just wondering about like, and then we already talked about when they're time
Now,
to get wore out.
look,
when
like
you're
women.
peekaboo.
I don't know. I hope this doesn't sound. This might sound a little bit off. I hope not. I'm not
Yeah,
trying
because
to.
we're so politically correct.
I'm
on this
trying
show,
not to
so
offend
just
anybody,
let
but
it
girls
rip.
girls do things for guys. They do. They wear high
Yeah.
heels. And most of the time they're uncomfortable. I'm
Yeah.
not saying all the time, but I mean you're going out for a night. You're going through Vegas. You're going to party and all that kind of stuff, and you wear high heels. But what? 4 hours into your night, what are you doing? You're like, oh, my feet hurt. I'm wearing these high heels. Well, who are you wearing them for? Are you wearing them for us? I mean, I don't notice what what are women wearing? They do all their nails.
Well, I think it's both. I think now you get. I think if you're single, you're out trolling, right? If you're not, and you're going out, that it's just I feel like they just like to get dolled up. Like women like to get
I understand.
ready. You know what I mean? So they
I
get ready up. But yeah, they even if it wasn't for a guy,
No, dude, they are doing it.
They go for a look.
But they're doing it to make their
I
friends
wear these shoes because
jealous.
because it all goes. They're like, oh, my pants match these shoes with this top, and those shoes they're like you said, they're terrible. They're probably not. They're definitely not comfortable. But it's a style. They style it looks good. They do it that way. But the panty thing, I feel like it's got to be comfortable for them.
Or they're just used to it. They've done it for so long,
That's what
you
I
just
mean.
get used
Because
to it.
really, you're not wearing those panties for. Nobody sees them. Nobody knows. Nobody knows what they look like.
You might be hoping somebody sees them later.
Yeah, that's if they're single. That's what I'm saying. But that's a rarity. It's not. Dude, girls aren't wearing that for the weekday at work.
I don't know.
Coming home, doing dishes, getting dinner ready, and all that stuff, and then thinking, "Oh man, I hope somebody sees these cute panties I'm wearing." That ain't the thing. Yeah, they're snuggled up on a couch, drooling on themselves, thinking, "Oh man, when my man gets home, hope he gets to see what kind of panties I'm wearing." I don't know. Well, let's hear it if that's a thing. I mean, I just don't see it going that way, but I don't know. It was just a thought I had because I was like, I think I was putting on those cool bamboo ones. I was like, oh man, I should hit Vinny up about some.
Wow.
What kind of underwears? You wear Hanes?
Fruit of the Loom.
Fruit of the Loom. Okay.
Fruit of the Loom.
Them things, dude, been around forever, huh?
Are you talking about the company or the underwear that I actually have?
Who knows? That's for everybody to guess. Leave it to the wandering minds.
Yeah.
All right. So we got good news. Moving on past that, the Sweeneys, new baby.
Yeah,
new little baby
saw
boy.
that. Congratulations.
Yeah. All right. Shout out Sweeney and M.
Is his name Riggs?
Riggs. Yeah.
Riggs. It's awesome.
Riggs, dude. That's a cool name. Riggs
It
Patrick.
is. That's great.
Patrick.
I'm glad everything went well.
Went good. I mean, I think a long time.
Yeah.
So Thursday, just kind of a quick rundown on it. Thursday, they called us. We were a church group, which I feel honored. I mean, I feel privileged to be like on that call list, I guess you could say,
Right.
like on that, to be a part of that call. Because it was like, they hit us up and were like, hey, if it kind of goes this way, would you guys be able to come over? If we got to run to the hospital. Because they also, for the listeners, they have a child that's a little over one. Tyler, she's only what, a year, 14 months, 15 months, something like that. So
She's not your kid. You don't need to know how old she is. You know
yeah,
she's over
I
you.
don't know, she's less than 2, so she can't take care of herself. Is basically what it is. But there's a routine and all that stuff, and so we were at Bible study, and then but kind of already had talked about it, kind of had the plan kind of deal,
Right.
And then if it was like, okay, well, if it starts to feel like you're getting there, because she was having pain, she was over being pregnant for sure, and so she was like, oh yeah, if this starts to happen, like then we're gonna do this. So they call us up, we grab the stuff. Alexa's at dance, we go scoop her up. We head over to their house. Well, we ended up staying at her house, or Sweeney's house, Thursday night.
Right.
So they stayed and hung out with her for a couple hours, and then they were like, all right, she's like, let's go. I'm over it. Sweeney's just pacing back and forth in his house. Like, he seemed more, I'm like, dude, you're being more nervous than she is, bro. Calm down. So, packs her up. They head out. Tyler's already in bed. We stay at their house, get her up in the morning, do all that stuff. Then we took her to our house and kept her Friday. So they were in there Thursday night. I would say probably 9:30 is what I'd say they got there. And then all into that night, he kept updating us, texting. And then they thought it was full on going at like 3:30 in the morning. And
Friday morning, 3 a.m. Gotcha.
3 a.m. And then like dilated. She went from like a 3 to a 4, and it was like contractions are hitting. So he's like, oh, it's on. I think what's happening. Then the next morning he's like, they all stopped. They're like in a landlock. There's nothing happening. No more contractions. They're just like
just hanging out at the hospital, eating jello.
So I was like, I don't know what's gonna happen. So then they kind of all met, whatever. Then they went in, and I guess like they do the inducing thing or whatever.
Right.
They kind of see where the progress is. However, all that goes down. I wasn't there. Then they finally so we had Tyler all day Friday. Then we took her back Friday because then M's sister was coming into town. So there's like a relief. So they're like, hey, she's going to stay at the house, so you guys don't need to. So we're like, cool, perfect. We can get it. We can crash at our house. But we did still go over there and put Tyler to bed. Well, Alexa did. Tasha and I didn't do shit, but because she's like, that's her comfort thing. She's never been away from her mom, or nothing like that. So it was like, she'd get fussy. She wouldn't even let Tasha hold her. She'd be like,
it was
nope,
Alexa.
Where's Alexa? Yeah. And just grab her by the neck and be like, just you and me, So it's super cool. But, yeah. So then they finally, I think they had Riggs at like 5 something Friday.
Nice.
So they were there. So basically, and then they keep them for 24 hours. So they got home yesterday.
Good.
At 6:30 or whatever time, 6:30. So yeah, so we're gonna head over there here in a little while. They asked if we wanted to come over and
spread your germs all over the new baby.
Check out baby. Yeah, he's got to get that immune system built. You know what I mean? And get her banging out there. I'm sure so that Tyler probably wants Alexa. So there's that.
Right.
And then we'll hang out with little baby Riggs. So yeah, he was 20 inches long, what they say. 6.2 pounds or 6.2. Yeah,
6 pounds, 2 ounces.
6 pounds, 2 ounces.
Yeah.
So he was actually smaller than Tyler.
But he was like 10 days early.
Yeah, 9 days early.
Which I don't know if that would gain a lot.
I don't know if that's going to gain you a whole bunch. She was 6'11", and she's tiny. She's itty bitty, dude.
Yeah. When you have Sweeney as a dad, you're going to be kind of tiny.
They're not.
I mean,
oh, snap. Well, the thing of it is, too, they're not. Like, we were talking to Emily's sister, Kim. They're not.
Okay.
They're not big humans, anyways. They're not big people. You know what I mean? Like, Emily, she's taller. She's as tall as Tasha. Her and Tasha are like the same height. So
ain't like she taller than Sweeney?
7.
I mean, she might be like an inch or two taller than her.
Yeah, 2 inches taller. But even then, because that's what Kim's like. Well, and Sweeney's like, Sweeney's like an average. He's a taller guy or normal size. I go, no, he's like 5'9". You know what I mean?
Oh, I was gonna say 5'8". So
No, I think he's like 5'9".
I mean,
And but Emily's like 5'7".
yeah,
She's the same height as Tasha.
yeah,
But they're not big. Like Sweeney in high school was like 135 pounds.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he's only muscular because of the
Right.
muscle.
He's grown
He's not
out.
built that
He's
way.
grown out, not up.
Right. He's not built that way. You know what I mean? Like he still weighs less than 200. He's like 190 pounds or something.
Jeez, I wish.
195 pounds.
Dang.
But it's not like, because then there's like poor Alexa, Tasha, she's got a fat booty, and stuff like that. Like she got some junk in the trunk, and then she's small boned, luckily, but she's tall. Tasha is, but then I'm sorry, kid, your dad's not.
That's okay. WNBA, it's picking up.
Here we go, volleyball, something.
Volleyball, WNBA.
But I mean, you're a dancer, so they're long and lengthy. So you just got a little more leg and booty to you. I always tell her to eat big, get big.
That's right.
Yeah,
well, that's good. I'm
glad.
Congratulations on Sweeneys for having their
dude,
next stage of their life.
I mean, we were praying for them, prayed for them at Bible study, just like so everything went good on us. It is. But I did get a comment too. Somebody was like, "Oh my gosh, half the time," or what she say? I'm not gonna. I don't know what word for word she said. She goes, "But man, Vinny needs to just stick to one alcohol or something." I watch him drink like 3 different kinds, and it makes my stomach hurt.
Doesn't make mine hurt. I do just fine.
That's what I said. I'm like, hey, I'm trying to get sponsors.
45 years old, I can still mix it. We got
up,
little Kev. Little Kev, he told me, it's been a couple years ago. He's like, if I start on like any hard, whiskeys or anything like that, he sticks with that. He doesn't go back to beer. If he starts on beer, he stays on beer. Because there's a saying, I don't remember what it is.
It goes, liquor before beer, have no fear. Beer before liquor, never been sicker.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can mix it up.
Boom, I like it. All right. Okay, this is what I was going to talk to you about. Well, we got 2. We can go one or the other. Now, let's go this first one. So, homeless people, dude. This is the one I wanted to talk to you about that I was like hesitant to do it, but it's like I feel like there's getting more of them. I don't know. I'm not going to get into the politics of it per se.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, is it because of the government that we have going now that is allowing more homeless people more freedoms, and with all this stuff going on in San Francisco with being able to use drugs on the street, crap on the cement. I mean, it's disgusting, first of all, right? And the drugs and stuff like that, it's a terrible thing. And it's when you watch it, I watched some documentary on it and stuff like that with all of them shooting up and doing all that stuff, and they can go to places and get these needles, and because they don't want them sharing because of the disease and all that stuff, but then they just shoot themselves up, and then they just throw it in the gutter.
Right.
So now you got poor city folk that have to go clean it, and they're like, it's like under risk. And then you have an app on your phone where if you're walking down the sidewalk and you're like, oh, here's some
fecal matter.
A person took crap right here. You go on the app and you click on it and mark it, and then like here comes somebody has to come up and pick up human poop. You know what I mean? And it's just wild. But the reason I bring this up is I had a buddy. He's got this brand new 5th wheel trailer. Nice. I mean, like $100,000 for this trailer.
Okay.
It's like it's gorgeous. So he has it. He's getting ready to go out on this trip to Oregon, right? And his wife calls him up and says, "You left the trailer door open." He's like, "What?" She's like, "It's probably full of flies." She's like, "There's flies flying around there." Because we were right at this last week. We were right at this like fly stage. You know where it is? Like it's cold.
Right. Starts to get cold. Flies are trying to find warmth.
Little bastards are everywhere. How they appear. So she goes out there and she's like on the phone and she's like, "Dude, and you left like you left the thing of soup right there." He's like, "What?" No, like he was packed up, like leaving.
Right.
Turns around, comes back. Come to find out, some homeless person got into his trailer.
They're not homeless anymore. They live in a fifth wheel. Yeah.
Dude, absolutely annihilated it. Trashed it. So this is what gets me going on this homeless thing. Some is, I understand, and whoever wants to be upset about it, whatever, you can. That's your opinion. My opinion on it, because I've been downtown, like in where I live in Reno, and I'm not going to say all of them, and I'm not going to say none of them, but they trash the places. So this is the part that I'm saying. Like, you want to be homeless? Be homeless. Like, it's your choice. You for whatever means it happened to you, whatever. Some of that, like that documentary they watched, and they can get help. There's places they can stay. They don't want to stay because they can't. They have to be clean.
Right.
They have to have. There's rules, and they have to abide by these. And they flat tell the people, they're like, I don't want to do it because I don't want to have to. I don't want rules. I don't want to have to be clean. Like so I get that there's some that do and some that don't, and I understand all that stuff. But you go downtown, like in Reno, and it's trash. I mean, there's garbage, and it's just, and I get it. It's like, do they have a garbage service? I mean, I feel like there's dumpsters. The city puts dumpsters down there, and so for me, I'm thinking, what else do you have to do for real? Like, if you make garbage, and you're homeless and you're just sitting in a tarp, a tent, or whatever you're doing, why not just gather up that garbage and walk it somewhere and throw it in the garbage?
Yeah, I don't have any idea. I don't know.
I mean, do they got something better to do? I feel like not.
Well, that's a rule. I mean, that's a rule.
True.
Like, you make trash, you throw it away. You know, they a lot of, I mean, I'm not saying all, but I feel like some of them are just kind of like, they're fed up with government. They're fed up with society. They're just fed up with, you know, when they decide not to do a rule, you know, they don't want to follow rules. They don't want to follow any of them. That's zero rules.
I can see that makes sense.
So, I mean, you know, it's one of those things where it's like, I'm not going to, you know, I don't know, you know, whatever rules you think everybody has to follow. If they're not going to follow any of them, or they don't want to follow those rules, they're just not going to follow any of them. So, I mean, like when we went to Oregon a couple years ago, like it was, you can have is it Oregon? I think it's Oregon. I can't remember. We went to Oregon and Washington, so I can't remember which state does it. But you can have basically every single drug, heroin, cocaine, you know, any of that stuff. But if you don't have a certain amount, then you're fine. Like, there's certain amounts that you can have and not have and stuff like that you can carry. And then, you know, like you said, there's tents. You know, they call them tent cities, or they call them. So like our hotel outside the street, they had like this tent, and you can tell there was like a bed pushing up against the tent, and then they had tarps and stuff over it. But they can't really do anything. And the problem I think a lot of cities have is either they don't have the funding to house them, because, I mean, they are breaking a law. So either you change the laws around your homeless situation, or you enforce it. But you can't really enforce it if you don't have the backing of the city or county, because, I mean, there's not a lot of police officers. You know what I mean? Like that job right now, I mean, people do get police officers and stuff like that, but it's really hard to get that. A lot of people, it's kind of like joining the army. You know what I mean? Like, there's not a lot of people that want to join the army, and with the way that society's going with police officers right now, it's like, well, I don't want to really become a cop, because then 90% of the population looks at a cop as a bad person.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Pushing the whole defund
right.
thing until
so,
like,
I mean,
they want to defund the cops until they need them, and they're like, oh,
right. So, I mean, if you don't have the manpower, I guess manpower is a good word. If you don't have the manpower to round up and get rid of the people that are breaking, I mean, they're squatting on public property. I mean, that's, at some point, there's a law there. So it's kind of like, it's a two-sided sword. You know, do you push everybody into a prison, or you know, not prison, or jail or stuff like that, and then your jails are full. Then you have somebody that goes out and robs somebody or murders somebody, but you don't have room in your jail because now it's just full of people that or
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the end all, the save all thing. It's just like it's gotten so much. Like you said, the laws and stuff you can't enforce, especially when you're allowing certain stuff like that, the drugs and stuff to happen. How do you rein that back in?
Yeah,
But I'm just saying, like, out of just the respect part of it, as I get probably the drug stuff when you're on the drugs and all that stuff. It's probably
there's
that's
mental.
all you care. That's all you care about.
Mental.
Yeah, but I've seen those ones here in Fallon. They're not dirty. I'm not saying that like they're out there showering every night or day, but when he packs up with a couple of the ones that I know I see from at work, when they gather up their stuff from sleeping on the bench or in the little cubby thing at the library or whatever it is to stay out of the wind, I couldn't tell you they were there once they got up and left. You know what I mean? They gather up their stuff, they roll it up, pack it up, put it on a shopping cart, and they go pushing on to the next place. Like nomads, whatever. Like they're just in, but they stay clean. I'm saying, like, I don't understand, especially the more you get together, the more I'm gonna get together, it just makes a mess. Just like I was saying that story. He goes to get in his trailer and it is absolutely trashed. I mean, the lady's like a zombie. Like she sat in the toilet and blew it up and was bleeding in the toilet, like doing that kind of stuff on that end.
Mm-hmm.
Then gets up and is like, there's like blood drips on the floor. Goes to bed in this place, pisses in the bed, bleed. There's like, looks like scab. It looks like a zombie just leaving parts of her body all over his trailer. So, this poor guy has to come. If it was, and this is, I'm thinking, I was like, for me, dude, I wouldn't even let you know I was there. I'd make the bed when I was done. I might get a couple nights stay out of this place.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, eat some of the canned food, soup, or whatever it is. Put it back in your bag or wherever you got. Sneak it out of there. Like, come back the next night. Nobody's even going to know that you've been there if that's what you're doing. And he lives a ways out. Like, they had to like walk for miles,
right? And
then just to wreck it. You know what I mean? So it's like this. Now this poor guy has to go and fold up his mattress and throw it away. If it were me, I would just unbolt the toilet and I'd have thrown that thing away and put a new one in.
Right.
And that kind of stuff. It was just a thing that popped up, and so I was like, I just wanted to hit it up and see what you thought, because like, if you're going to choose to do that or whatever you're going to do, clean up after yourself. Like, have some there, but I don't know if it's just like you said, the mental part, the drugs, or is it like they're fed up and they're just like, the hell with like you said, the government or the locals or whatever. You're like, they're just like, pound sand. I'm going to set up camp here and just
I'm not
trash the place.
But it's also not just a government type situation. They might just be fed up with the way, let's just say, society wants to like make you feel. Like, you feel like you have certain obligations. You and I feel like, okay, if I'm going to, we go to a 4th of July parade and our kids eat, Tootsie Rolls or whatever, and wrappers end up on the floor and stuff. You clean up after yourself before you leave. That's just a common courtesy. That's a common courtesy to try to clean up.
It's also a law of littering.
Well, it is that too.
There's that too.
But
that's not why you do it. That's of course not why you do it, but that's like you said also, they're littering, they're trashing the places, that they're staying at. That's littering. And then that's loitering. And then it's like you said, you're sleeping on public,
like city properties,
wherever you're at, if I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if it's, but it's just crazy to me to think it either way, that you've chosen to live that way, or that you've been forced to live that way, or life is at hard times and you've gone that route and that's where you're at. I just don't understand the whole, like, the just trashing of places.
I just had this thought while you were talking about it. Like we've had, I've lived here since I was 13, and I'm 45 now, and I've never seen a homeless person in Sevier County. They kind of go through, they're like traveling through. I've seen that. But recently we've had a few, comments on Bookface and stuff like that talk about, like there's people sleeping in a van that doesn't run. It's got a flat tire. They've kind of parked it out and away of town, but they're still close enough that they can come into town. You see them walking around with their backpacks a little bit, stuff like that. So, we've got something going on, but like people just kind of ignore it. And I think like if in a bigger city, one or two people come in, people ignore it. Then you get 10, then it's kind of like, there's a little buzz. And I don't know how other travelers, homeless people, if you want to call them, find out. But I think once a town or city starts to kind of get that community of homeless people, and then they find out, once your local resources are used up and there's nothing they can really do about it, do you feel like more people just come in because they know nothing's going to happen? Nothing's happened to these other 50 people, so now I know I can go there and nothing's going to happen to me. And do you feel like it's kind of like one of those things, or like they don't do anything about it, so now they've run out of resources, they've run out of room in jails and shelters and stuff like that. So now it's like, okay, I can go there and just be on my own. Like nobody's going to bother me. I can do whatever I want and not get picked on.
I think that, yeah, I don't know, dude. I don't know how they.
Why don't you go out this week and get one?
A lot of them I see have phones, dude.
Yeah.
They got phones. They got one guy's got a Bluetooth speaker. You go a pill or whatever they call them, and his phone, and he'll go.
I don't even have a beat pill.
I know. He goes over and plugs them into. I'll come by the library or whatever, and they're plugged in out there. He'll just be hanging out. He's got his stuff all sitting there. Wherever he's at, they'll just plug in power.
Yeah.
But I don't understand, because it's like they're choosing to do that, but then they all stay together. There's only a few that I know of that like stay by themselves.
Right.
And then they have like these homeless camps like you're talking about. Right? So is it because I don't know the story. I don't know the reasoning. Yeah. Like you said, there's 3 or 4 of them staying there, and then like 5 or 6, and soon there's 10 or 15. And so it's like they get away with it, or you're keeping them, like the counties or cities are like, well, at least we know where they're all at. Like we just they can stay over here.
Just keep tabs on them.
Control type thing. But I don't know. It's a sad deal for sure. It's crazy because there's some sort of that, like we have in our county, there's an assistance. Like you can go and get help. You know what I mean? But you have to also, then it comes to the rule thing. So you have to abide by these certain things, and you have to be clean, and you have to have this, because they give you money for clothes and for food and all this stuff. It's not, and I understand that you don't just hand it out. You know what I mean? Because then I would go homeless, and you could just pay me to do.
Dude,
they've
homeless. Done stories in Salt Lake. They've watched people sit out there under the, you get off the off ramp on the freeway, and there's people out there like homeless. They have little signs. They're getting money, and they followed these people. At the end of the day, it's like a wife and husband, maybe a guy and a dog, whatever it is. But they'll follow them at the end of the day, and then they go over and get in a freaking Jaguar and drive off. And
I've seen that too. Now there's a rarity of that. I feel like just from like I go every morning. I could probably go through, and you could put a lineup of all these different people, and I could pick out at least 6 of them that I know by person, not like personally, but by person. Like I could tell you what they look like, how we've named them. I don't know if that's really their names, but not like rudely, but like just kind of from like like.
Oh, look at that! There's Dirty Joe. Check out Dirty Joe over there.
Burns, like there's Mr. Burns, because
he looks like Mr. Burns from freaking
his
Simpsons.
wife does.
Oh.
So we gave her the nickname Mrs. Burns, and so he's just Mr. Burns.
Oh,
but she's the one that looks like Mr. Burns off The Simpsons.
Wow, isn't he
walks like him? Has the face. She shaves her head.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, she's got thrown in jail. And then she's now in prison for stabbing Mr. Burns.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, for the second time.
Well, you want free food, you want freaking 3 meals a day, you want a roof over your head. She's like, look, Mr. Burns, I am done with sleeping on the street. Like, I'm going to stab you, and I'm going to the country club.
They were squatting, like, up in this old house that was all boarded up. Oof. They were squatting up in there. Yeah, but you see all this stuff. But those two are together. And then you see some other dudes, like, wheels around in a wheelchair now. You know what I mean? And then, like, the one guy's on a bike. Shoeless is what we call him because he never wears shoes.
Shoeless Joe?
Just shoeless.
Just shoeless. All right.
Yeah, we're like, they're shoeless. So, we got Backpack. This girl, her name's Backpack. She's got a backpack all the time. And it's like these fancy, like My Little Pony ones. They're all like shiny looking little back. Her hair's all ratted up, looks like a dread sticking out the back. And she walks like faster, like a little Tennessee walker, dude. Like she's super fast walker. But she's homeless, but she goes and works at the flower place out on the highway, picks weeds and does all that stuff. You wouldn't even, we've driven up and like stopped as she's going to cross the street. And it's like, she's oblivious to the world. Like she would never even know. I don't know. We call her Backpack, but it's just those same people, and they do the same thing all the time. Like,
yeah,
they're never together. You don't see them at those camps. You know what I mean, or whatever. Like, so I don't know. It's a whole thing. But I was just bringing it up just because of what happened to my buddy.
Did they catch the person?
Places. They took pictures and he had to file a report and all that stuff. I have not heard. If they have or if they haven't yet.
I don't know, man.
All right, moving on to that because I want to get that one first. Because then now, let's. Do you want to do your bit?
I got a little bit of the bit. I mean, I worked on it.
Wait and do it next one.
No, I can do one now. I can do it now. I got
also one more little segment I wanted to hit you up about.
Well, I got a segment on here I wanted to hit you up about.
All right, so you want to do your bit first?
We can do the bit first.
All right, let's do the bit.
We'll do the bit. I don't know, dude. It's like I got to get ready for this stuff. It's like
my hands.
It's like my heart races, and I hate to know what I'd actually be like if I actually did an open mic. I'd just be like,
you'd probably black out.
I'd probably puke. I'd probably throw up on the first row.
Hopefully, you do it beforehand.
I'm like, oh, babe, let's go have wings and freaking ribs before we go to for the open mic. No, there's no eating. There's definitely no eating.
You gotta puke it out before. All right, so here we go. Vinny, are you ready?
Bit?
Yeah, do your bit. Are you ready? Got her. You got your zen on, focused.
I know. I left my notes in the
living room. But... I don't know. So do you want to, or we don't have to?
I'll wing it. No, I got it.
All right, go.
I got it.
Send
Let's
it.
just
here we
wing
are.
it
Vinny's
here,
little
like
bit.
this.
The stage is yours.
Oh, thanks. So I work for UPS. I deliver a ton of stuff. Like, guys order their things that they want. They order their jigsaws. They order their chainsaws. They order all their tools. Maybe not all of them, but they order stuff. So they know what they're getting, right? Then when you come home and it's a Saturday and stuff like that, and your wife's like, hey, I need you to run down to the store. So she texts, my wife does anyway. I don't know about everybody else's. She sends me a text and she's like, hey, I need you to go to the store and get this. So I go down to the store. And I don't know if it's just women or is it just guys, but I usually like to have a plan, and my 23 years of experience at UPS, you kind of run everything in order. Like, where you're going, you go step by step and you go in order. I take my wife's lists down there. And have you ever noticed that your list, you go to one place and then the next thing on the list is clear across the store? Like, you're like, okay, I'm going over here. And then you go get that. Well, then on your way back to this third thing on the list, which is back over where you were just at, you're like, okay, I run into a buddy and I talk to him for, 15 minutes. And I'm like, oh, it's good to see you. I got to get this list done. So you run over there, you grab the thing you're supposed to get. And then the fourth thing on the list is in another part of the store. So you're zigzagging all over the store. You're running into people. It's like, oh, dude, I haven't seen you since high school. How's it going? Blah, blah. Then you skip something on the list and you go to the next one. And you go to the next one. You're like, oh, man, she wants me to get this mayonnaise. Well, if I buy this jug, of mayonnaise, I'm saving 89 cents. I'm going to buy this jug of stuff and we won't have to put it on the list for a month, maybe longer. So you're buying all this stuff and you're like, well, she wants Coyote Ranch, but to buy a little thing of Coyote Ranch, which is the best ranch in the world, by the way, it's $6, whatever. And you're like, but if I get, Hidden Valley, I can get double this Hidden Valley for the same price. It's like, why not? It's just, ranch is ranch, right? So you go through the store, you've run into 4 different people that you're there for an hour longer than you should have been. You're getting text messages from your wife. Hey, you doing okay? Yeah, I'm at the store. It's not like I was driving across the world, And you get home and she starts going through the bag and she's just like, what is this? I'm like, it's ranch. It's just, I want a Coyote Ranch. Like, yeah, but this was double the amount for the same price. It's like, well, nobody's going to eat it. It's just going to go to waste. Well, where's the water? I'm like, oh, water was on the list? I must have skipped it when I was talking to Joe, It's like, oh, man, I missed that. I'm sorry. And then, so Walmart now has come up with Walmart pickup. So my wife can sit at home, order exactly what she wants, the size she wants, the brand she wants, and there's no zigzagging across the store. There's no running into people. A lot of people will say that Walmart created Walmart pickup because we are a lazy society. We don't want to go in the store. We're going to have somebody do it for you. Go ahead and do it. But my theory on Walmart pickup is saving one marriage at a time.
Thank you, Walmart. Save one marriage at a time. It was probably dudes that came up with it for the Walmart pickup. They're like, listen,
you order it.
When I gotta run to Walmart and get stuff because my wife can't for whatever reason, or she's out of town. Yeah, you're just aimlessly walking up, dude. Aimlessly walking up down the aisle. I just experienced this. Tosh and I went to Costco yesterday.
Oh gosh,
right? And
yeah.
What am I there for? To push the cart because they have these carts you can park a VW Volkswagen in, right? First of all, I'm just like, things got aired up tires. You know what I mean? It needs like electric assistance on these things,
right?
And that's before I've even put shit in it,
right?
This thing is huge, and I'm just like, okay, so I'm wheeling this cart in from the parking lot. I'm already sweating as I get into Costco because the cart is 3 times the size of a regular
grocery cart.
Grocery cart.
Yep.
So I go wheeling this thing in there, and then it starts, and then it's like it's like I don't even know, like the baking show. Like you got 30 seconds to get down this aisle and get as much shit off the aisle as you can into this cart. But don't worry, they got an underlayer of the cart too.
Yeah.
So you can get the heavy shit and really bend down and hunker down and get it up underneath the wheelbase of this thing, and then work your way up.
And then if it's too big, they got flatbeds. You can get a flatbed cart if you need to bust out a flatbed.
No,
cart.
you just start. So I'm just like, that's what I'm here for. And like you said, it's like all I'm doing, I don't know where nothing is. Like I'm just keeping up.
Right.
And Tasha's like, over here, hangs right. And something you ain't paying attention, you're gonna get lost.
Right.
Like you're getting left. Like if you ain't moving, if you ain't first, you're last. This is how that thing works. Like Talladega Nights, dude. So I'm just ripping through it, and she's just like, hey. And then I'm like, okay. So I go down this aisle, right? And it's clear down on the other end. So I push the cart clear through the whole aisle just to get to the backside of another aisle for her to turn and come down the other aisle.
Right.
So I'm like, I got an idea. I'm just going to wait at the one end of the aisle. And then, because now I got to figure it out. Like, I'm dialed in. Like, this is perfect. All I'm going to have to do is push the cart 6 feet at a time, dude. Like, Fast and the Furious here, 1/4 mile at a time. So I would just push to the cart and I just wait. And she goes down the aisle. Because I'm like, the last time I pushed all the way down the aisle to get clear to the end, for her to put one thing in, and then we turn and go down the other aisle. So I'm like, geez. And this thing weighs 600 pounds by now. So I'm like, I just sit at the end of it. So I'm like, I got this out. I got it figured out. So I move my cart up and I'm just waiting. And I'm like, oh, yeah. And she goes bipping down the thing. And she's like halfway down. And I'm like, I got it. Here we go. And then she turns around and I see both hands go up in the air. Now I'm wrong. I'm doing something wrong. What? I'm getting the code call. And I'm just like, oh, shit. Now I got to push this cart back down into it. And then I get to there and she says, do you think this is enough flour? Because we're going to make pie crust. And I'm like, you made me push this 600-pound cart all the way to the middle of this aisle just so you could ask me. And this, I don't know that it's enough. It's 6 pounds. It's 6 pounds of flour. I'm like, geez. I'm like,
most recipes are 1 to 2 cups.
Yeah, I go, I don't know how many pies you're making, but if you made a 1 pound pie crust, you could make 6 of them.
Right.
And I don't know that there's any pie crust that's a pound. And she's like, okay, yeah, it's enough. And she puts it in there. And now I got to wheel this thing all the way back up, turn the corner, and guess where the next pickup is? Back where I was waiting on the other aisle. So here I am mushing this thing on. I'm just like, but yeah. So that's, I think dudes made up the shopping for the Walmart pickup because, dude, it was, and that place is nuts. Then there was this lady that had this kid that was going, it was like a train wreck, dude. I couldn't stop watching it. This kid is screaming. So her face is painted like a tiger or something. She must have just been at a carnival or something. So her face is all painted up. She is now screaming and wailing, walking along the side of the cart. The one younger, the brother sitting in the cart, he's like half the age, eating something just as cool as could be because he's just getting pushed around the cart eating.
Right.
This little girl's wailing. And the mom is like, picks her up and tries to stick her into the cart. And she goes instant board style, just stiff-legged, won't get down in the cart. So the mom sets her down, starts wheeling her. She's sitting there yelling, just screaming at the top of her lungs. So soon her mom's like getting her by the cheeks, telling her to stop, like,
right.
Holding her around. So then she's all, like she's getting choked out. And Tasha looks at her and she goes, "Dude, mom just grabbed her by the throat." And I'm like, no, she did not. I've been watching the whole time. So then this little girl, and she's still wailing. So the mom's just like, fine, like, whatever. So she does get her in the cart. I mean, like, full on exorcism, bends her in half, shoves her in the cart. They start going, and I'm stuck, dude. Like, I don't even know what Tasha's doing because I'm just watching this whole thing go down. So she's going up and down the aisle, and you just hear the kid wailing. Soon they come out, and she's wailing full on, just throwing haymakers on her mom, just trying to hit her. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, like it was full on violence. This girl was wailing back, dude, trying to punch her mom. And she's just wailing out. And I'm like, babe, do we got to go down that aisle? We should follow her. Like, this is great. We should see what's going on down that aisle.
If I'm going to be pushing this 600-pound cart, I want some entertainment. Dude. I need some entertainment.
So I watch him mush all the way down, like 3 more aisles down, just wailing and swinging and hitting. And down she goes. And I was like, good on you, dude. I would have picked her up and took her outside and left my cart right there. Ain't nobody going to come back and get that cart until the time you can come back. Get surprised. But yeah, so yeah, that's a good one, dude. I liked it. That's a Walmart pickup.
Dude, yeah, Walmart pickup was made by dudes to save marriages.
I feel 100%. So. I feel dudes want to.
That should be their ad. Walmart pickup, saving one marriage at a time. That's it, right there.
You're welcome, gentlemen. That's what I'd have in the writing. You know, they always put like the little clear, like it's like cursive writing underneath. It's like, you're welcome, men.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, it's saving us. Like, we drive down there, pop the trunk, they load it. You say thank you, you drive away.
I hate to be the guy that I don't even really do that because I always tell Tom, hey, I don't know what the substitutions are. You should probably go get it.
Oh, Emily tells me, she's like, hey, substitutions are okay. I'm like, all right. So I go down there. I text Emily. I tell her which bay I'm in. They bring it out. I jump out. I help the kid, or I help the person that's putting in. I help them load it in the truck. I say thank you. Have a nice day. I close the trunk. I drive off. So I get out every time. I do get out and help them unload it, but I mean,
rarely go. I don't go unless Tasha has time. If she ain't busy, she can go get it.
But she gets what she wants, and she didn't get a big old bulk of freaking mayonnaise that she didn't need.
Yeah. All right.
All right. What's on your list? Are you going with the next one?
Think. No, I'm gonna save that one. I'm a week early on that one. Yeah, so I'm gonna do it next weekend.
I had one about traveling that we can do today. We can do next time out. It's up to you, but
let's do it next week because that'll tie into what mine is for next weekend. Because I want to do turkey tradition, like holiday traditions.
Oh, dude,
Turkey Day traditions. So I was thinking we weren't gonna do. We have next week. Before, I'm 1 week
before Thanksgiving.
Early.
Yes, yeah.
So we can do the traveling one because you do traveling. A lot of traveling will be next week.
Yeah, whatever.
And then, because I gotta go see Baby Riggs.
Gotta go see Baby Riggs.
Yeah, and then your phone's getting blown up, so you probably got
something. No, I'm looking at my notes. Notes. I mean, I'm sorry, but I got notes, man. I got comedy notes. I got freaking, yeah. You gotta go
save
see
the traveling
Riggs.
one because we'll talk about traveling too. Because it's a lot of people. That's a tradition. They drive, fly. They go somewhere.
Right? Yeah, no. Yeah, just leave it there because I got questions on that shit.
Oh,
stuff. I got questions. I want to know how people feel about this. How some people act that way. But anyway, yeah, we're good.
Feeling on my nuts.
And then, like my comedy, I did another comedy bit, which could be a podcast topic rather than comedy because I only wrote down a couple of lines for it. But
it's one of the topic on it next week.
It's going to bed.
Like nighttime routines.
Well, not necessarily nighttime routines. It's just how
about that.
We did a little bit, but I mean, how do you feel about your spouse? Like, I'll be sitting on the couch when we're watching a movie, and like 9:30 rolls around, and Emily's like, "Oh, I'm ready for bed. You want to just go watch this in the bed?" I'm comfortable. I'm on the couch, like I'm there to finish my show. You know what I mean? Like, now you got to shut it down. You got to turn off all the lights, lock the doors. Go to your room. Set up your pillows or whatever you got to do, and you're getting in bed. And then now you got to, so you're starting whatever you're into 10 minutes, 15 minutes later after you've gotten everything all settled in. But like when you're in something, do you want to just shut it down and go to bed?
No, if we were on the couch and Tasha was to be like, hey, let's go watch this in the room, and we're already halfway through, I'm like, no.
Now, if you're watching it together, I mean, that might be a little bit different, but like usually it's like, for me, if
I'm watching my own show, she's going on her own.
Yeah, no, yeah.
She don't need me. What'd she need me for? Want me to go in there and help you take your makeup off?
No, dude, she needs to be next to you. She needs to be right there with you.
She's just sitting here with me the whole
time. I know, so stay right there with
you. You got two options. You can stay because I'm staying out
finish
here.
It. Right.
Or you can go and you want to go do whatever you're going to do, and I'll meet you in bed when I'm done with this show.
Well, I'm a little bitch, so I shut it all down.
Let's work on that. We're gonna work on that.
So that was my
next time. Yeah, the next time, be
rule.
like, "Hey, I'm gonna stay out here and finish the show. I'll meet you in there."
Well,
what's she gonna do? Get mad at you? It's like, and then she tries to go. Oh, what about this? Like, listen, I'm gonna stay out here. Like, it's cool. It's fine.
Yeah, no, it's not
legitimately 27 feet away from you.
It's too far.
Okay.
It's too far.
Yeah. I'm still even in the same house. I haven't even left. Yeah.
I can't keep my eye on you. Know what you're doing? What are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
You can hear me out here. You can still hear the show. I'm just right here down the hallway.
All right, bro. Go see Riggs, man.
All right, brother. Well, it's a good one. We'll hit you up this week, and then have some of that stuff for next week. We'll bang it out because we got. So next week, for sure, we got to talk about Turkey Day traditions because that'll be the following week. Will be that.
Oof.
All right, everybody listening, thank you so much. Hit us up, flapping your gums at gmail.com or comment on YouTube, flapping your gums with Vinny and Hessey on YouTube. And then, hit us up beforehand about traditions if you got some.
Let's talk about
Turkey Day.
We need to talk about
traditions. If you travel for Turkey Day,
I'm over turkey.
If you don't, Whoa, not me. I'm ready, bro. Do like surf and turf, huh? Huh. Right, it's tradition. That's one we're going to talk about. All right. We'll talk about it next week. All right, bro. Peace.